Hi everyone, I am Tuấn, the first presenter of Group 11 to show you today about transport in international trade. Our group is presentation will go through introduction, modes of transport, difference between FOB and CIF term, and we will define what is road ship, progressive, and log ship. So let's start with the introduction first. International trade is a way to expand your business further, but after you have made yourself, there is deliveries to do. Getting your products across swiftly is essential for customer satisfaction, and getting them across inexpensively is essential for your financial result. So, choosing the right mode of transport is key to an efficient and cost-effective international arrangement. The main mode of international transport are sea, road, rail, air, and pilot transport. Each mode has its advantages and disadvantages, and conditions pertaining to the type of goods being exported or imported. Sometimes there's a need to use more than one mode of transport, or you may contact freight forwarder to deal with logistics.
My name is Ting, and I'll be talking to you about the sea transport. First of all, we need to know what the sea transportation is. The sea or ocean transport is a form of transportation that involves the use of infrastructure and ships. Particularly, it is the use of land and water areas attached to sea routes connecting nations, territories, or areas within a country, and the use of ships, loading and unloading equipment, and all needs to serve the movement of passengers and cargoes on seaways. Well, the history of sailing started in the year 4000 BC, when the ancient Egyptians used reeds to be what are thought to be the very first sailing boats in the world. Then 2,000 years later, they made a wooden boat that could travel across the ocean, and from that point, the sea transport was born. For a long period of human history, sea transport was not only used to serve in war and expeditions across continents and nations, but it has also been a great help to international trading and economy. It is estimated that 80 to 90% of the world's goods are transported by sea, and over 70% of them are containerized cargo. So humanity has come up with various types of ships for different purposes, but some of the most common ones used for commercial purpose are, we have the container ship, classic. We have a bulk carrier, a ship designed to transport unpacked bulk cargoes such as coal, building materials, grains, sand, crushed stone, and several types of ore. We also have tankers to transport liquid like oil, gas, and petroleum products. Last ship for transporting barge, and we also have roll-on, roll-off, and rail-on, rail-off ship. But we will save those two special types of ship for later on. So anyway, people do prefer using this type of transportation over the others. Why? Well, it is evident that sea transport is an important, yet inefficient solution to the international trading and shipment, and it is cheaper and more affordable in comparison to railroad and airway. Thus, ships are designed to carry dangerous materials, oversized and heavy objects. Therefore, it is the best and safest way to transport bulky goods. Last but not least, it is more eco-friendly as they have minimal carbon emission and consume less fuel than those of an airplane. And because all of those, more and more large organizations prefer them over the other means of transportation. While despite undeniable benefit from using the sea transportation, people should put in some consideration when they use it, because there will be some catch. You know, ocean transport is slow. It could take weeks or months for the ship to reach the destination. Therefore, it is more risky since there's higher amount of time involved in the shipment. The shipment might also be delayed due to several obstructions, for example, like the bad weather or political activities. And furthermore, some parts of the world are lack of facilities for ports and terminals to serve the large container ships. So a significant amount of capital expenditure is essential to handle the container-based networks. Well, that is all what I can share with you about the sea transportation. To the next part, Ngọc Anh will introduce you to the road transportation. Ngọc Anh, please.
Hi there, it's Ngọc Anh here. Now I'm going to show you the basic overview of road transport. its advantages and disadvantages in today's logistics system. Firstly, what is road transport? Road transport is essential part of transport system and the most popular form of community transportation. Movement along roads may be by bike, motorbike, and truck. And in this presentation, we just talk about road cargo transportation. Through time, road transport has evolved with various types of transportation, and until now, there are 6 types of cargo transportation divided by function, as you can see in screen. There are numerous options for road cargo transportation. Each type of it has its advantages, and thus, depending on your need and understanding on your cargo important when choosing best type of road cargo transportation. And this is a basic overview of road transport. And to understand it more and make it easier to choose between road and the other means of transportation, let's find out about its advantages and disadvantages. Let's talk about its advantages first. Okay, firstly, it takes less capital outlay. Road transport requires less of cost contracting, operating, and maintaining. Secondly, the outstanding advantages is that it provides door-to-door or warehouse-to-warehouse service. It reduces loading and unloading expense. Thirdly, flexible service. Its route and timing can be adjusted and changed to individual requirements without much inconvenience. And finally, rapid speed. We don't need to spend much time booking or taking delivery compared to case of railway or sea transport. In spite of its various merits, roads still have a limitation. First, seasonal nature. During rainy or flood season, roads become unfit and unsafe for use. One more disadvantage is that it is unsuitable for long-distance and bulky traffic. And lastly, lack of organized, the road transport is less organized, more often is irregular and undependable. The rate charge for transportation is also unstable and unequal. And to sum up, with many advantages, the road transportation is one of the most important means of transportation and is indispensable to development and commerce industry. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Dat and I'm presenting about rail transport. Rail freight transport is the use of railroads and trains to transport cargo as opposed to human passengers. A freight train is a group of goods wagons hauled by one or more locomotives on a railway, transporting cargoes or also of the way between the shipper and the intended destination as part of the logistic chain. Rail freight practices and economics vary by country and region. The trains may haul bulk material, intermodal containers, general freight, or specialized freight in purpose-designed cars like oil train and steel coil train. Now we'll go through some advantages and disadvantages. The greatest advantage of rail transport is that it is the most dependable mode of transport in terms of safety. It is least affected by weather conditions like rain, fog, snow, and the chances of accidents or breakdowns are pretty low. It is better organized with fixed routes and schedules. Its speed over long distances is higher than other modes of transport, except airways. It is economical and suitable for bulky and heavy goods. It's a cheap transport since all of it working expenses are in the nature of fixed costs, and it is also economical in the use of labor. Its carrying capacity is extremely large as it is elastic, which it could be easily increased by adding more wagons. It also provides public welfare and administrative facilities of the government. Despite having many advantages, it still suffers from certain serious limitations. The first is it requires huge capital outlay. The cost of construction, maintenance, and the overhead expenses are very high. It lacks of flexibility due to fixed rules and schedules, and which would also result in lack of door-to-door service. It is uneconomical and unsuitable for short distances and small loads. A huge capital outlay also results in centralized administration, which the local authorities fail to meet personal requirements. The booking involves many high costs and the use of labor. The huge capital outlay also results in the monopoly, causing lack of competition, which may breed high costs and inefficiency. And due to huge capital outlay, rail transport cannot operate economically in rural areas. The last one is the underutilized capacity. As it has extremely large carrying capacity, underutilization would be a great financial problem and loss to the economy. In conclusion, despite being the most dependable mode of transport and having many advantages, the biggest disadvantage of rail transport is still its incapability to reach any destination. As other modes of transport, disadvantages in comparison with rail transport could be improved with the advanced technology nowadays, and in the future, rail transport is indeed hard to be a great choice for activities in international trade. Now we'll come to air transport with the performance of rail.
Air freight is the carriage or transportation of goods by air. Air transport is the most recent mode of transport. It is the gift of the 20th century to the world. Air transport offers a numerous advantages for international trade, including fast transport, high quality precision instrument, valuable goods. Interest about your business, time is money. There are some advantages of air freight. The first one is speed. Air transportation and speed go hand in hand. When your cargo needs to be moved quickly, air freight is the fastest available solution. We can ship package from Vietnam to US in 1 or 2 days, while the same delivery by sea could take anywhere from 30 or 60 days or even more. Global reach. Global reach is air freight is the unique because it can get packages to virtually anywhere. Top 5 airlines fly more than 300 destinations. Air freight allowed cargo to be delivered without fragments or less than other freight. With air transport, labor market can be improved by making it impossible for business companies to win high-quality workers from anywhere around the world. The next is highly accurate ship date. Unlike other shipping methods, air freight is highly reliable. In fact, this reliability made possible for postal service companies to guarantee overnight delivery. Cargo that travels via oceans has a huge range in delivery dates because by the loading and unloading time in ports, the lower risk and cost due to the transit time. Because air freight has a very short lead times, chance of goods being spoiled or stolen are very low. So it can deliver urgent goods like post, magazine, seasonal goods, or perishable goods like flowers, fruits, and valuable goods. Due to this low risk, also the high level of the security in airports, insurance costs for air freight is lower than for ocean freight. Besides, the air freight still has some disadvantages. The first one is cost. Cost is the biggest downside. For example, delivery of the 500 kilometers by FedEx from Hong Kong to US may cost you about 13,000 USD, while sea freight will be around 3,000 USD. Air freight cost is calculated primarily by weight, while the sea and the land freight is calculated primarily by volume, size, and weight limitations. Planes are relatively small compared to huge ships. This limits of the size and weight of the air freight that can be handled. The world's biggest airplane built can lift only 250 tons. In contrast, the largest container ship can lift more than 2,000 tons. 200,000 tons. It is suitable for carrying bulky and cheaper goods. And the weather depends. Weather can have a big influence on air freight when the exact delivery times is required. So clearly, there are far more advantages to the air freight than disadvantages. If you need to quickly deliver something relatively small and don't mind high price, choose air freight. Like almost every decision in supply chain, choosing air freight is other methods hinges on a trade-off between qualities and price.
So, hello everybody. My name is Huỳnh Khoa, and now I'm gonna give you a presentation about pilot transport. Pilot transport is a kind of transportation that only happens in foreign trading, and this is not one of those original means of transportation that you would probably choose to use in your daily commute. For the definition, pilot transport is the long-distance transportation of a liquid or gas through a system of pipes, also called a pipeline, typically to a market area for consumption. The latest data from 2014 gives a total of slightly less than 2,175,000 miles of pipeline in 122 countries in the world. The United States had 65%, the Russia have 8%, and the Canada have 3%. Thus, 75% of all pilots were in these three countries. The benefits of pilot transport are huge. As it were the cutting-edge technology, it has a lot of advantages. Namely, first, reduction in the cost of transportation is very significant. Secondly, supply through the pipelines is very reliable. It is free from obstacles in road and rail transport. In case of underground pipelines, the land in which the pipeline lays can still be used for agricultural use. It ensures supply in remote areas where roadways are not very good. Also, it provides safe and secure supply for defense needs. And everything comes with it, pros and cons, and so there is pilot transport. So some disadvantages of pilot transport is, unlike road, no separate land acquisition even for pilots. So sometimes there would be accidents like the pilot laying on the road in the populated areas, and then there may be different things that can affect the operation of the pipeline, and sometimes make the operation of force the operation of the pipeline to stop, and it affects many other operations too. Secondly, illegal pillage and wastage due to leak is a problem in pipelines. Like other big linear structure, paralleling and maintenance of pipeline is a huge task. And things that go through the pipeline is chemicals, and the chemical can create a lot of problem, like chemical accident through pipelines, and it's causing problem to both the plant owner and the company that laying the pipelines, and the compensation for those is huge. So although it despite it cutting edge technology, pilot transportation still cannot be a perfect replacement for the original means of transportation. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about part of transport in international trade, and my presentation is divided into three sections: Ro-Ro ship, large ship, and Ra-Ra ship. Firstly, Ro-Ro allows your product to roll on and off the vessel, as the boat to be lifted on board using cranes. Self-propelled products such as cars and tractors roll and off the vessel on their own wheels. Products that are not self-propelled are placed on handling equipment with wheels in terminal to be rolled on and off the vessel. Your product thus remain on the handling equipment equipment for anti-sea voyage. And secondly, large ship is a lighter. A lighter is the type of light barge used to transport goods and passengers to and from more ships. Lighters were traditionally a power and were moved and steered using long or coarse webs and the motive power of water currents. And the last one is Rara ship. A train ferry is a ship designed to carry railway vehicles. Typically, one level of a ship is fitted with railway tracks, and the vessel has a door at front or rear to give access to a well. In the United States, train ferries are sometimes referred to as car ferries, as distinguished referred to as car ferries.
Hello everybody, I'm Bảo Châu from Group 11. Hopefully my teammates have already given you useful and interesting information about modes of transport. And I'm here to ask you a question. We all know that FOB and CAF are extremely popular in cargo transportation, especially between countries in the world. So, have you ever asked yourself why people commonly refer these two terms? Keep watching, I'll have you figure out the answer. Okay, so in foreign trade, especially in terms of transport, commercial practice plays an important role. To unify the usage of the practices, ICC has released Incoterms that stipulate trade terms to use globally. As you can see on the screen, Incoterms has gone through a very long period of more than 80 years with 8 editions. But it is worth mentioning that the terms FOB and CAF have been presented since the first edition in 1936 and continue to maintain until the latest edition in 2020 after multiple modifications. This is probably one of the reasons why they have become so popular. They are the two oldest conditions in Incoterms history, those affecting the habits, usage practices of businesses. As you know, foreign trade contracts are often complex, so parties tend to reuse the model contract terms multiple times, or long-term cooperation with similar terms. The second reason that I want to mention is that there are specific provisions for internal maritime transport, which is the most popular mode of transport. More than 80% of the cargo all over the world is transported by vessel, so specified terms for sea freight such as FOB and CAF are preferred. In addition, the provisions of FOB and CAF also contribute to its popularity in international transportation. Our major is international business economics, right? So I think you all understand these terms deeply. This illustration can have remind you about transfer points of risk, cost, and also insurance of Incoterms. As you can see, both FOB and CAF have the same risk transfer point as the export border gate, so it is more convenient to divide the cost and responsibility when their risks are lost to the goods. Here are 3 reasons that I based on the knowledge I've learned. I explained to you about the popularity of the terms FOB and CAF. Hopefully it is useful for you.
So that's all of our presentation today. I'm Gian, and now I would like to summarize it for you to have an overview. There are 5 modes of transport in international trade. Those are sea, road, rail, air, and pipeline transport. And when we combine them, we call it multimodal transport. Sea transport is most used because it is low cost, suitable for bulky goods and eco-friendly, but it is waste of time and risky. Road transport is less used in manned transport stage, but used as a feeder of the other modes because it can be used in transport door to door and is more flexible than others. But not that it is greatly affected by the weather, traffic problems, etc., and is suitable for long distance and bulky goods. Rail transport is the least used among the manned modes of transport in international trade because of its disadvantages. Requirement of huge capital outlay, inflexibility, centralized administration, and available on only a few fixed routes. But people still use it because it is safe, well organized, and fast for bulky and heavy goods over long distance. Opposed to train transport, air transport is nowadays increasingly used more for the purposes of speed, time accuracy, and absolute safety. But the users must consider its cost and limitation of volume and weight. And the last single mode, pipeline transport, is used only for transporting liquid goods such as gas, oil, water, etc. FOB and CIF are most preferred terms in international trade because they are the oldest terms and become custom. They are specific for sea transport, the most important mode in international trade, and both of them have the rig transfer point as export border gate. About 3 types of ship. Ro-ro is a type of ship that allows your products to roll on and off the vessel. Tram ferry or Rara ship is a ship designed to carry railway vehicles, and last ship is a power tube used to move and steer a lighter. So this is the end of our presentation today. If you have any questions for us, please make it clearly at the class time. We are pleased to help you understand our presentation. Thank you for your listening, and please take care of your health. Follow government directives to prevent COVID-19. Goodbye.